Hi ChicaGrill fans, welcome to my latest ChicaGrill video. What we have on the menu for you today is pizza, homemade pizza. Who doesn't love pizza made with love in their own kitchen? I am so excited to show you the ways of our pizza journey. Here, what we're gonna start with, and let's just jump right in our KitchenAid mixer, I have 5 cups of flour. To this, I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of sugar, just add it right in. 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and 2 tablespoons of instant yeast. I'm gonna add that right in. And what we're gonna do is simply mix those ingredients together on low. So while this is going, what I wanna do is mix 2 cups of warm water. And the importance of this water being warm is so that it can enact the yeast. We want to really wake up that yeast and have it start doing things together, getting nice and frothy and foamy to really add that flavor to our dough. So 2 cups of warm water, and like I said, it's probably at about 105 degrees temperature. That's what we're looking for. To this water, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So we want to add that, and I'm going to mix it up, okay? I'm going to emulsify this, okay? We have an oil and water, so we want to mix it up a little bit. And while this is mixing here, we're going to slowly add this liquid to our dry ingredients. And the end result that we want to get is a nice sticky ball. And I'm going to show you exactly what that consistency should look like. So with that, guys, I'm going to slowly add the water and the olive oil mixed together. And it's just going to go, go, go. I am going to increase our speed here on that KitchenAid from this low to medium. I'm on the wrong side of my mixer. How about that? Here we go. On medium speed, I'm adding the rest of my water and oil mixture. Let me take it down a notch until it gets more absorbed. Things are flying out of my bowl here. So I want to make sure that it gets nicely mixed. I'm going to end up in one of those baking commercials with flour all over my face. That's how that happens. But now that the dough is nicely integrated with that water, those dry ingredients are nicely integrated with that water mixture, I've increased my speed to medium. And now we're seeing this dough incorporate so nicely. And this is what we're going for, a nice sticky ball texture. So I'm going to let this run for about 1 to 2 minutes, closer to that 2-minute mark. And I'm going to show you exactly what that end result should look like. Mixing for a few minutes here, I think it's ready to take out. Now, mind you, I did have to add a couple of extra tablespoons of flour. That's why I have the flour out here. I was also trying to pat down the sides to make sure that this is the appropriate consistency. And now that I've added a few extra tablespoons of flour, and that's what you have to do, guys. You just have to eyeball it and make sure that you're getting that consistency that I'm about to show you here. So now that I think I've achieved that, I'm going to take off my rings because I'm going to handle this dough. And look at how beautiful this looks. So do you see this gooey consistency? This is exactly what it is that we're going for. And what we're going to do, guys, is simply place this in our bowl here. This is why I have our bowl here. I have lightly oiled it, so there's oil in it. And is spreading me. Here we go. And so what I want to do is add this dough ball into my lightly greased, oiled pan here. All right, little container here. I'm going to put that here so you can see what we have here. And I'm going to just gently pat it. We're looking for a beautiful texture and consistency. Look at how shiny that is. Look at how sticky that is. It is perfect. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil on top, and I'm gonna cover it with that oil. And the next step of what we're gonna do is cover it. Now you can cover it with plastic wrap. I have a towel here that's lightly wet, okay? So I did wet this towel a little bit, and we're gonna put this somewhere dry and somewhere warm. So if this fits in your microwave, if it fits in your oven, this is where I'm gonna put mine, right in the oven. And we're gonna let that dough rise for 2 hours. So I will check back in here with you in 2 hours. The next thing that we're gonna do though is work on the sauce for our pizza. So while I wait for my dough to rise and double in size, I am going to start on my sauce. And the first thing that I wanna add is San Marzano tomatoes. I have a 28-ounce can here that I'm just gonna put into my saucepan. Now these tomatoes are whole. And so what I wanna do, because we don't want whole tomatoes like this on our pizza, do we? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna crush these with my hands. You know me, I like to get those hands dirty. I am gonna take off my rings first. And what I'm gonna do, guys, is simply just, oh, this feels great. I feel like a kid playing in the sandbox with wet sand. I'm just gonna crush and keep on crushing these tomatoes. See, I'm just gonna pull them apart and make these big whole tomatoes, just little pieces. That's what I like on my pizza. If you wanna puree this, if you wanna put this in a blender, you can most certainly do so. It really just depends on you and the consistency that you like for your pizza sauce. But here, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm having fun. This feels really great. Something sensory here going on. I'm enjoying this. But I wanna make sure that all of those tomatoes are nice and crushed. Again, we don't want big pieces for our pizza. And this is a pizza sauce, so this is what's gonna go on that bottom part of that dough, on the top part of the dough. All right, once you think that you have everything nice and shred up here in these tomatoes, like I'm thinking I do, it feels pretty good. I like this consistency. I'm just gonna quickly wash my hands. And I did wash them before I put them into this pot, I'll tell you that for sure. So I'm just gonna wash real quick here. And we're just gonna add some basic seasonings, some basic spices. And what I have, guys, is 2.5 teaspoons of dried Italian spices. Throw that right in. And now what I'm gonna throw in is 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. Throw it right into that sauce. And I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. I think this is 1.5, sorry, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. So I'm gonna put it in there, start that fire up. We wanna get this on a nice low simmer, and we're gonna let it simmer for about 10 minutes or so. I am going to stir it up, get all of those seasonings nice and blended into my sauce. Looks amazing, smells incredible. And this does look like the consistency that I do like for my sauce on my pizza. And we're just gonna let this simmer. Now, while it's simmering, what I like to do is add some basil, just a little handful of basil. What I have here is a whole handful of basil. I'm gonna add 1/2 of that, maybe 2 or 3 leaves or so, and I'm gonna rip it up into the sauce. And this is gonna lend such an incredible basil flavor, fresh garden herbs, wonderful. So again, we're just gonna let this simmer, and then we'll meet back here in about 10 minutes so we can move on to the second step. So now that this has been simmering for about 10 minutes or so, we have a nice little simmer action going on in the pot. My favorite part. And this, guys, is what really is going to lend a beautiful, fresh flavor to our tomato sauce here for our pizza. We're gonna add a fresh tomato, and we're just gonna grate it right in there. So I'm gonna take my tomato, look at all that juice. This, guys, is what makes this pizza sauce just so amazing. This is a little secret that I've picked up and I'm sharing with you guys. So that's one. I'm just gonna throw the skin over there. So 2 tomatoes is what we wanna grate right into this. And as soon as we finish grating these tomatoes, we want to just turn off the flame and let it sit. We'll stir this up and let it sit and rest. Done with that one. It's not very juicy, that one. How about this last one? Oh yeah. Look at all that extra juice, that extra pulp. This is what is gonna make this pizza sauce taste so fresh. All right, guys, I'm down to the skin on that. Waste not to get all that delicious pulp in there. Put that in the sink. And then let's add the rest of that basil. Yum. Ah, smells like summer, I'm telling you. Turn off that flame, give it one last stir, and our pizza sauce is done, my friends. Look at that. Great, guys, so our dough has been resting for 2 hours. I'm gonna pull it out from where I had it, which was in the oven. And let's take a look. Oh yes, look at how beautiful this is. It has doubled in size. So now what we're gonna do is simply flip it upside down, pound it. Let's remove all of that excess gas in there. And I'm gonna flour my surface here first. Get it out. Oh, this feels great. Look at this, guys. Yes. Yum. And so I'm gonna add a little bit more flour here, and I'm gonna slowly pound it. I'm gonna take the edges and bring them in towards the center and pound with my fist, okay? We're working this dough, we're kneading it a little bit more, we're getting out that excess gas. Ooh, yes. So we wanna do this just for about 30 seconds or so. And if you feel it's sticky, if it's sticking to your hands, which mine really isn't, definitely feel free to add more flour, okay? All right. Look at how beautiful this dough looks. Now, what I want to do next is simply separate this. So with this 5 cups of flour that we did in this whole recipe for my dough, I can do about 7 7-ounce pizzas or so. I have my food scale here, and I do like to measure it out. So that's already past the 8. So this is what I would recommend, just doing little balls of dough at about 7 ounces, okay? So in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cover my dough. So once you shape all of your doughs into little balls, cover them up. So again, you're gonna have 6 here kind of on the sidelines waiting to be put into the game. So I'm gonna cover this with that wet towel. And I wanna work this one piece of dough here. I'm gonna put more flour. I'm gonna take my rolling pin and roll this out, okay? You wanna work it at all different angles, okay? If you see that the dough, like mine, is sticking to my wooden spoon here, my wooden rolling pin, it's not a spoon, add more dough, okay? You can never add too much dough. And I'm gonna turn it, and we're really gonna wanna work this dough, stretch it out, right? Work that gluten, work that gluten. All right. And we're gonna make this a nice big round pizza, the shape of the pizza. Okay, if you wanna make it square, rectangle, heart shape, whatever shape you're looking for, definitely feel free to do that. But right now, we're gonna do como faceva la nonna, right? And even how my mom used to do this, rolling it out old school, okay? And take it up, pick it up, really feel free to stretch it. You should be able to work your dough, just like I am here, okay? Use that rolling pin. And again, I feel like there's a little bit too much sticking action going on, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more flour here. And we're gonna roll this out, all different directions, okay? Till we get a nicely shaped pizza. And take a look at it, guys. I like mine really thin. You might like yours a little bit thicker. So it's really up to you on the thickness of your desired crust, okay? So I'm thinking this looks pretty good here. We're doing individual pizzas. If you want a bigger pizza, definitely feel free to combine more than the 7 ounces of that dough, right? But once I have this in a nice shape, and I have achieved the consistency and the thickness that I want for my pizza here, look at this, I think is perfect. We can go ahead and add oregano. I just like to sprinkle it on. If you don't like oregano, omit it. A little bit of salt. This is gonna really accentuate the flavors of that dough and of the toppings that I'm gonna put on my pizza. And some Parmesan cheese. Just sprinkle it on. All right. Now what I've done is I've taken my pizza pan, my ladle, and we're gonna bring it in. And I'm gonna add some cornmeal to that. The cornmeal is gonna prevent it from sticking. So I put that on top. I'm just gonna settle this pizza right on top. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Okay? And we're gonna start with our toppings, guys. So what I wanna show you is we're making a barbecue pulled chicken pizza. So what I wanna show is the sauce, right? ChicaGrill BBQ Sauce. Yes, I'm just gonna sprinkle this on. And it's not really sprinkle, but I'm gonna ladle it on. Add as much or as little as you'd like, okay? Completely up to you and your flavor profile. I'm also gonna mix the ChicaGrill barbecue sauce with that sauce that we made, the pizza sauce that we made. I'm gonna add about 2 spoonfuls or so here, and I'm just gonna mix it all in together. Look at how gorgeous this looks, guys. Wonderful, look at that, beautiful. Next, what we're gonna wanna do is add all of our toppings. And I have those toppings right here. I have the pulled chicken, the barbecue pulled chicken. So if you did not watch that video, definitely watch it. I made this in the crock pot. It is so moist, juicy, and tender. This is gonna be an amazing topping for our pizza. I also have a combination of mozzarella and Gouda cheese. Gouda is so Gouda. I love this cheese, and it's gonna add so much flavor to our barbecue chicken pizza. Next, I have red onions, nice and sliced up, and cilantro. The cilantro we're gonna put on the end of the cooking process. So, where I'm gonna start here, guys, is with that barbecue chicken. And I just wanna spread this everywhere. I am not gonna be stingy with my ingredients here whatsoever. All right. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. All right, I have my chicken on here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some red onion. Deliciousness is about to ensue here. And we're gonna top it off with the Gouda and mozzarella cheese. Beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that is. This is barbecued pulled chicken pizza. We're gonna take this out to our pizza oven. Look at what we have pulled off of that pizza oven. Absolute beauty here. Do you see this? Amazing. It smells absolutely incredible. So the last thing I want to do, guys, before we tear into this, is top it off with cilantro. Cilantro is really going to add the freshness Gonna bring out the flavors of that barbecue sauce and that pulled chicken. Amazing. Look at how gorgeous this looks. You ready to cut into this thing? Let's do it. Listen to what I hear. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, wow. Look at that. Ooey gooey cheese. Look at that crust. Incredible. Oh my gosh. The flavors of that barbecue sauce, that pulled chicken, to die for, guys. Absolutely incredible. I'm gonna put that down. And what I wanna do is I'm also gonna make another one in the oven, just in case you prefer to make it in the oven. So I have my oven preheating at 475 degrees, and we're gonna leave that pizza in there for 10 to 15 minutes. Meet you back here soon so we can take a look at that one. So guys, this just came out of the oven. Now I'm going to dress it up with a little bit of cilantro on top. This is what's gonna really magnify those flavors in that barbecue sauce. Look at how beautiful this is. And one thing, guys, I just wanted to mention is that in the oven, if you are gonna do it indoors, really you're looking at a temperature of 475 degrees for that oven, and you want to leave that pizza in there about 10 to 12 minutes or so. Definitely keep an eye on it. Some people like it really cheesy, the dough not as crispy, you know, it's all art, right? It's a personal experience with your pizza. It depends on the kind of equipment that you have. We also have a pizza oven, and at that temperature, 500 degrees, and you can leave that pizza in there for about 3 minutes or so. Just again, always pay special attention and make sure that you're looking at that pizza, because you don't want to overcook it, you don't want to undercook it either. Now, a few things that I want to talk about on our pizza journey today is we started with that sauce, right? And so that sauce, I just want to mention that you can most certainly get a can of crushed tomatoes if you so choose. I personally like to get the San Marzano whole tomatoes and just kind of chop it up. I like my sauce a little bit more thick, if you will. So it's completely up to you. Those seasonings that we added for the pizza sauce really do something for that pizza sauce. It makes it more pizza-esque. I can't even describe it. But definitely feel free to experiment with your own flavors, okay? It's all about you and your flavor profile. So I definitely wanted to make note of that. Another thing I wanted to mention is that once you roll out that dough and you get it to that consistency or that thickness that you like, feel free to add what we added, right? I added a little bit of salt on that crust. I added a little bit of Parmesan cheese and oregano. Feel free to add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit more salt, less salt, whatever you want. Make it your own. Okay, it's all about you and how you like to enjoy your pizza. With that, guys, I'm gonna close it out. Let's take a listen here. This crust is so crunchy, crispy. Look at how beautiful this is. That cheese is nice and melty. Oh my goodness, I'm in heaven here already. Look at how beautiful this is. Pizza in the oven. More than pizza in the oven, barbecued pulled chicken in the oven made with ChicaGrill barbecue sauce. Enjoy. If you make this, definitely tell us in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. This is such a delicious recipe. You cannot go wrong. Enjoy.